all accounts, America should be a paradise. We have enough wealth to ensure that no child goes hungry, enough land to house every family, enough medicine to heal the sick, and enough knowledge to build a just and prosperous society. But as history shows, having enough and doing enough are entirely different things. And we are at present a nation in decline, not because we lack resources, but because we lack will. Our bridges collapse, our schools crumble, our hospitals charge fortunes for salvation, and our leaders, bloated with greed, tell us that it simply cannot be helped. That's just the way things are, they say, as if society were an act of God rather than a collection of human choices. And so, in the grand tradition of civilizations past, we speed toward ruin, armed with the certainty that we are somehow different, that empires don't fall here. And we tell ourselves that we are a beacon of democracy, though fewer and fewer can afford to vote. We preach freedom while our prisons swell with poor. We extol our moral virtue, all the while the powerful grow fat on suffering and the righteous scream into the void. We have never truly been the light we claim to be. Not when we slaughtered the native inhabitants of this land, not when we built our wealth on the backs of enslaved labor, and not when we told the poor to pull themselves up by their bootstraps while cutting their hands off. But do not despair, for there is hope in this wretched moment. There is hope, though it must be wrestled from the jaws of complacency. A great many people still believe in the promise of America, even if America itself has never lived up to it. These are the ones who fight, but not for the preservation of the present right, but for the future we were always capable of creating. They see the high water mark of our past wealth and know that the real measure of a nation is not how much gold it hoards, but how well it tends to its people. Money has always been the great god of America, a cruel deity that demands endless suffering in exchange for privilege, and yet we have never been more aware of the absurdity of its rule. We have never been closer to breaking free. And our people are waking up, recognizing that the barriers between us are artificial, that the suffering of one is the suffering of all. Seeing through the cheap illusions, the corporate flag waving, the sermons of wolves and pulpits, and the promises of trickle-down salvation. And the question before us is simple. Will we rise to our potential, or will we let the decline become permanent? And the world watches, wondering if we will prove ourselves capable of being more than the sum of our sins. It is a choice we must make, and we must make it soon, for history does not wait for nations to regain their footing. It buries them. But let us instead look forward to a world we could build if only we decided to. A world where medicine is not a privilege, where children learn without fear, where the hungry are fed and the sick are healed, because that is simply what decent people do. A world where we do not fear each other, we do not hide behind borders and dogmas and imaginary lines of division. A world where we recognize that our fates are bound together. Revolutions are not always fought with guns. Sometimes they are fought with kindness, with defiance, and with a simple refusal to accept the cruelty as the nature of the order of things. If we must be a great nation, let us be great not in power but in mercy, and reject the easy path of selfishness and embrace at long last the better angels of our nature. And while the hour is late, the fight is not yet lost, and the high water mark may be behind us, but the tide can always rise again. Defiance till death, y'all.